did you watch the Cincinnati Cleveland game?
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about that first. So I watched it today. I was at the Bears game on Sunday. We'll talk about that later. But so I rewatched all the games, not all, most of them on NFL Plus. So basically, my main takeaways from the games is the Browns look legit. Their pass rush looks legit. Their secondary looks legit. You mentioned that the wins were egregious. So, Burrow and Watson, when they were throwing the ball, it always wasn't the most accurate. But watching that Browns offense, they just looked so dominant. Like, so dominant. Like, you could tell what they wanted to do. And also, they lost Conklin for the year. Their tackle. DeJuan Jones stepped in and did great. Like, the fact that DeJuan Jones fell to the 4th round is a criminal offense to all the 31 other teams that passed on him. I could think of at least 5, 6. I can think of every team that could have spent a 4th round pick on DeJuan Jones. Why? He looked great. He looked great all preseason. Another thing, Elijah Moore for a 2nd round pick, steal. Dude is a baller. Only thing I want to say, I have some more notes here, but we can get, back and forth. Stefanski's one in his bag. You could see it with the play calls, the formations, everything like that. There's no really cause for concern for the Bengals here. They typically start slow. They are 1-6 in the first 2 weeks since 2020. So, it is what it is. The Bengals start slow. The Browns just look different. They blitzed. Jim Schwartz, I believe, is the defensive coordinator. That D-line was looking great. They had Myles Garrett playing on the inside. They're blanketing the Bengals receivers. I don't know. I just love what I saw out of Cleveland today. When I watched them.
Yeah, no, bro. So my thing was, and again, like I've been saying, I'm not surprised by this. I had the Browns picked. I think you did too, to win week 1. We know the Bengals sometimes have a tendency, especially in the Joe Burrow era, to kind of come out slow.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the weather was terrible too. This was just going to be a slugfest no matter what. It's one of those games where, again, the score's like, 20, I get it, 3-possession game, but it wasn't great on either end. The Browns just got the ball moving on the ground, and that was killing the Bengals. Again, the Browns' rushing attack looks amazing.
That was another thing is the Browns O-line, they would like completely move the Bengals D-line, and it was like, Chubb would just cut back and he's gone. Like, it happens so many times. Like, they're so dominant up front.
Well, I'll say this too. So quick side note, because this was interesting to me too. We've been saying, Nick Chubb, we thought was going to get all the carries. If not all the carries, at least 3/4, 4/5, however you want to put it.
Yeah.
And here comes Jerome Ford, 15 carries. Again, you can see the clear difference in productivity, but I think it's nice to keep, your opponent off balance with that. And I know that's obviously Stefanski's tendency and what his belief is because, he's showing now it's like, it doesn't really matter. We're going to mix it in. You're going to have to game plan for a few different guys, and that's how it's going to be. So that's obviously what they're rigid on. We know Myles Garrett's still playing amazing. Not like that's a surprise. I mean, we knew that was going to happen. Also, Zadarius Smith also played a great game. So, yeah, to your point, the Browns D-line is just fantastic. The Browns right now, and again, I was telling you before the show, I'll say it again. If you ask me right now who's going to win the AFC, Deshaun stays healthy, proves just a teeny bit, like we were saying. But I think he's going to keep doing it. It was the win this game, I think, is the reason we kind of was reserved from seeing the top ability, what we know we can do. And the Browns, again, they're just so well built. We knew this. This is not a surprise. The Bengals start shaky as well. We're not surprised by that either. I think they're going to bounce back just fine. Everyone tried making a story out of the whole thing, like, oh, they benched Joe Burrow fresh off the contract. Yeah, no shit. That's the point. He's fresh off the contract. He got injured in training camp. Why would they play him if the game's over? I mean, that's just logical. Don't try to make a story out of nothing.
The only thing I will say, and like this goes true for a lot of games, is the division. Like, it was a divisional game. So it is, can lead to seeding, especially in a very tough like AFC. The Browns just looked energized. Like, they looked like super ready to be there. So I hope this is a theme we see from Cleveland, like, going forward, because they look scary to me. Like I said, Watson rated 13 for PFF for quarterbacks. If he can be the 10th quarterback in the league, that's out of the top 10, if he can be 10, the Browns can do some scary things this year.
No, they can't. A little other side note I had too. This relates back to the Bengals here. But so T. Higgins held without a catch, only second time in his career. But I know he's looking for that money and all that. So this is going to be interesting. Just a little something to keep track of here. I would say if you're keeping track like a boxing score, round 1 to the Bengals on as far as the negotiations go.
Yeah. No, and also another thing too is like we didn't really get to see much of a deep game from either team strictly because of the wind. And it's like the way the Browns were moving, like if they can get that deep game going, I don't know how you stop them.
No, dude, that I've been saying it. It's like there are. I don't want to even compare them to any team, but when a team is just any team I've over the years that you're like that's a very well built team, and they have a good quarterback around them. I mean, that's the Browns right now,
Yeah, yeah.
just all around well built.
Do you have anything you want to talk about next, or should I just move